Hello and welcome here. One of the most memorable and significant events in the MCU was the death of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, but in light of recent shocking revelations about the MCU's predicament, it might be time to think about how he can return. The MCU is not in the best of shape right now. Box office failures, chaos behind the scenes, and mixed reviews pose a danger to the comic book movie bubble to which it made the greatest contribution. It's not too startling to learn that Marvel is considering the prospect of three of the MCU's most important characters returning, given that they left the franchise abruptly and into this vulnerable situation. This is in line with a Variety story that provides information on the MCU during a crisis. If this is accurate, the MCU will be able to move on after the death of its biggest star, Robert Downey Jr., without too much heartbreak. Even though the multiverse narrative is still largely focused on Thanos' legacy, it has at least shown how many different possibilities there are for any character to emerge or reappear in the MCU, ranging from brief fan-cast payoffs to completely identical versions. So it's not too difficult to get Marvel to reintegrate Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Here are three possible ways. Number 1. Iron Man could be brought back by Loki's new power. What is without a doubt Loki's most potent talent to date was introduced in Loki Season 2, Episode 5. Though initially uncontrollable, Loki's time-slipping ability can now be controlled, allowing him to visit targets in any time frame. It is impossible to overestimate the ramifications of this newfound ability, since Loki may now avoid the end of whole histories by wishing himself out of them and into the company of a specific individual elsewhere on the same or another timeline, from whence he can then change the course of the timeline. In light of this, there is no reason why Loki cannot pay Tony Stark a visit in a future in which he is alive and at his most powerful following his defeat in the Battle of Earth. Why would Loki want to do that? Well, the last time he interacted with Stark and company, things didn't go as planned. Besides, it will take a lot of firepower to beat the Council of Kangs. Stark has every justification for being considered a crucial member of any squad assembled to take on Kang. It would also be entertaining to witness Loki and Stark's reunion with the sacred timeline. Number 2. A multiverse variant could replace the original Iron Man. Re-recruiting sacred timeline Stark would lessen his sacrifice at the conclusion of Avengers Endgame, which is the main issue. Without a certain, Loki wants Tony Stark to be at his strongest, which means the movie's nanotech-heavy Iron Man would be the best candidate to unite against Kang. But this would solidify Thanos' plans, guaranteeing that timeline would end with a Thanos triumph and depriving Tony Stark of his sacrifice that defined his persona. Fortunately, there is a remedy to that issue in the multiverse. The most well-known example of this is Loki's Loki, an MCU variant that demonstrates how variations may be exactly the same as one another while having the tiniest alteration that turns them as variants on a branching timeline. That being said, there's no reason why a Tony Stark from another timeline, one that could have deviated from the one reality revealed by Doctor Strange, whereby the Avengers triumph over Thanos, cannot make a comeback to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Comics frequently include resurrections, some of which can be disappointing or unexpected, but Marvel has a clear chance to take use of the multiverse. Number 3. The MCU Reboot could bring back Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Another plausible option if Marvel is serious about bringing back Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is that he will make a reappearance in the much-discussed MCU relaunch. This needs the least amount of explanation because it will force the MCU to restart from scratch. Almost everything would change in a reboot of the world, the most significant of which would be the inclusion of the X-Men from the MCU. This would allow for the return of beloved characters and the telling of beloved tales without even acknowledging them. Since Robert's Iron Man is the closest thing the MCU has had to a prominent character in its cinematic world, it's likely that he won't have quite as much of an impact if he returns. The MCU would be wise to change the course of its narrative to put the X-Men front and center, as fan excitement about them is at an all-time high. However, the Robert Downey's return in a reduced role may not only be a smart commercial move, but also one that needs minimal explanation in the existing story. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.